Hi, this is Mike Hendrickson from OSCON 2013 in Portland, Oregon. I'm here with Kyle Simpson. Kyle, how you doing?
I'm doing great, doing really well. Glad to be here.
So, first, before we get going into any questions, how has OSCON been for you?
OSCON's a fantastic conference. My first time here. I've been to other O'Reilly conferences, and the quality is just out the roof. Just every time I go, I see a different set of things to learn. So it's been a fantastic conference. The keynotes have been really just incredible.
Excellent. So, you gave a talk. And for those who couldn't see it, can you kind of give us an idea of what you talked about?
Yeah, a couple of days ago I gave a workshop, and this workshop, they came and asked me to prepare a workshop a while ago on these new emerging standards in real time with HTML5 and also Node.js, which is server-side JavaScript. So there's kind of one standard that's already been out for a while. It's called WebSockets, that provides near real-time communication. But the exciting stuff that's coming is WebRTC, which is peer-to-peer communication. So imagine you and I are in different browsers on a different side of the world, and we want to have a video chat, or we want to exchange files or data or things like that. We can have a direct connection with no server in between us, and that's being built directly into the web platform. So I gave a workshop where I talked about how to build all this stuff. I put together a little proof of concept game and showed how we can use these technologies and the rough edges that are still there, because it's still bleeding edge stuff. But it's really exciting. I think 6 to 12 months from now, that's going to be the new way that the web happens, is peer-to-peer and kind of cutting out the server middleman. So.
Is RTC real-time communication or something?
Yeah, that's what it stands for.
Okay.
Huh? Yeah.
And where does someone find out more about that? Is there, I mean, obviously you can Google it. But
sure.
Is there...
So WebRTC.org is the main place where the standards and the specifications are being handled. In fact, I saw just today it's not fully agreed on. So Microsoft has got their own proposal on this and come up with some good ideas on simplifying things. So it's still being worked out, still the wild, wild west, but within a few months, I think we'll see some really solid libraries around it.
So do you think this is the future where communication is going on the web?
I think there's no question that peer-to-peer is going to play a huge role.
Again,
and I think that's especially...
It's kind of again,
true,
right?
That's true, yeah. But it's the first time that the web has really played a really important role in that. I think about mobile. So there's still something visceral about me giving you a call on the cell phone that I don't quite get when I just post a message in an internet forum or something like that. And so if we can replicate that same sort of thing through the web platform, it gives me lots of freedom of control, whereas my mobile phone is locked down to whatever my carrier decided to do and what apps they did. The mobile web gives us complete freedom. So I think that peer-to-peer is really going to revolutionize. We're going to see a lot of different applications.
So peer-to-peer kind of revolutionized music a few years back.
Sure.
And still is going on.
Yes,
but yeah.
In a very controversial way.
Yeah. But so some technologies seem like they recycle themselves and they come back and we all re-adopt them and look at them in different ways. So JavaScript's kind of been like that. And I'm kind of wondering why JavaScript and HTML5 have the last couple of years just hit it and taken off so much. Is there an explanation why the world's ready to see that happen? Or
I think that's a great question, because JavaScript just a couple of months ago celebrated its 18th birthday. It's been around for a long time. And I would say for probably the first 12 to 15 years of its life, it's really kind of considered a toy language. That's how we put trailing mouse cursors and blink tags and other things like that onto the web. But I would say, in the last 3 to 5 years, we've seen a revolution of people taking JavaScript and moving it outside of the browser. The first major step where that started to happen, Node.js came out back in 2009, and we saw a move to bring JavaScript for real onto the server. That certainly wasn't the first time that had been attempted, but it was a real attempt at sort of real-time JavaScript on the server. And now you see just an explosion where JavaScript is embedded everywhere. It's really becoming the standard virtual machine on the web, whereas 5, 6 years ago, Java would have been considered the standard virtual machine. I think JavaScript every bit is vying for that attention. That means that there's 50, 100 different languages right now that you can write in whatever language you choose and compile to JavaScript and use that. As well as there are people like me, I'm a big fan of JavaScript, so I write it myself. But even if you don't like the language, it is still a very powerful runtime. There's sort of a cliche that it's become the assembly language. It's really just become the target virtual machine for this open web platform, certainly within browsers, but also in a lot of other devices too.
Is complexity going up with JavaScript then?
Definitely. If you look at the things that are coming in the next version, ES6, and then even they're starting to think about what's going to come after that in ES7. Hopefully ES6 is going to finalize itself by the end of this year, by the end of 2013, which is really exciting, but many of those features are already being prototyped in the JavaScript engine. So in Chrome and in Firefox and in Node.js, you can already use a lot of these things. But they're fundamentally increasing the abilities, the capabilities, not just the complexity, but the capability of the language, giving us things that other languages have had for a long time, giving us new powerful representations. JavaScript has this unique identity that is not true of a lot of languages, which it shares both a scheme and Lisp functional programming background, but it also shares this very procedural syntax that looks a lot more like C and Java. And there's this unique combination of the two, and it presents some challenges, but also presents some really incredible opportunities, some expressive code that you can do there that you can't do in any other language. So I'm excited to see what ES6 and 7 are going to bring us.
Yeah. So you've written a couple books for O'Reilly, and you're working on some new ones. Can you tell us what they are?
Yeah, I have this theory that the biggest reason why people bash on JavaScript, the biggest reason why people hate it, is misunderstandings. And I don't blame them for that, but I think that the language is so approachable that it's very easy to just start writing code and never really have to learn it. And so I'm trying to combat that because I like this language so much. I'm sort of, an ad hoc evangelist for that, and I like it so much. So I would really like to help people learn JavaScript better. With that in mind, I pitched through a Kickstarter project. I pitched a series of books called You Don't Know JavaScript. And the Kickstarter was successfully funded, and I'm now in the process of writing a series of 4 or 5 books for O'Reilly. Each book is going to be sort of a shorter 50 to 100 page book that dives very deep into one topic. So there's going to be a book on closures, and a book on this bindings and scope, and a book on the objects and prototype chains and things like that. Really trying to take what I would call the tough parts of the language and uncover why they're tough and how we can use them better.
The tough parts.
Yeah. Exactly. There's a trademark on something similar to that, so I stayed away from that. But.
Well, and also it sounds like this is JavaScript for. You don't know JavaScript is for not people who don't know JavaScript.
It's for people that think they know JavaScript.
Exactly.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Kyle, this has been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.